As the cost of living rises, so does the cost of where we live. According to real estate company Zoopla, the average rent in the UK in 2022 was 12.1% higher than the year before. But with the ripple effect of increased prices, many landlords are being left with no other choice.
A lot of our tenants are understandably asking if there's anything that we can do about their rent to bring it down. And unfortunately, in some cases, we've had to actually put the rent up because our bills have gone up and up and up. We've got the utility expenses which have risen dramatically. We've got interest rates and the costs of our mortgages going up substantially. We've got the cost of labour and materials for repair and maintenance all going up. And this is having a huge effect on our business. It's all hitting the bottom line.
Landlords are often perceived as the bad guys. Of course, there are some who take advantage of tenants and increase prices by inordinate amounts. But is it fair to villainise them all?
As landlords get put under further and further pressure, as they are called out in the public media, it does make it increasingly difficult to run businesses. It makes that conversation with tenants increasingly difficult because that relationship's really, really important. But I think to taint all of the landlords with that same brush is dangerous.
The cost of living is effectively forcing landlords into a proverbial corner. And yet, many people are still calling for the government to impose a cap on private rental increases. However, as more and more landlords are driven out of the sector, there are fears around how capping could impact the supply of available housing.
If you want to encourage people to bring their properties to the market, if you want to have a sensible supply of properties, then actually the last thing that you should think about doing is capping rents. From the outside looking in, I can see that that might be an attractive move in the context of cost of living, but it's a false economy. And I think, government will need to tread very carefully before it starts meddling in the private rented sector.
Ultimately, as prices rise for tenants, they also rise for landlords. The challenge now is finding a short-term solution in which both sides can survive. Sophie Reaper, GB News.